The ominous feeling that I get looking at that bear with the snow gently following over its massive frame, causing and striking fear in the heart of the person taking the video, is the same way that a lot of people, including myself, are feeling right now looking at our crypto portfolio and looking at Bitcoin begin to fall on the daily candle today. It gives you a scary feeling that the bear is lurking and getting ready to maul the crypto investors. Guys, I'm going to go into the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to tell you what I'm buying today and what direction I think that Bitcoin is going, and I think it's going to give us an opportunity. All right, so don't get scared. We got to get prepared. It's going to set us up potentially for an alt move. I want to remind you guys, the last time Bitcoin made it up to that $64,000 range, when it sold off back to its golden pocket, it came down pretty darn far, but that's when a lot of the alts took off over the next couple months. Now, we don't know exactly which direction Bitcoin's going to go. I'm going to give you some indications in the charts that would tell me what might set up and how I might know when certain indicators are hit. When we get to certain levels, it will confirm to me how far down Bitcoin might go this time and what that might do for the alts. First thing it's going to do, when Bitcoin sells off, it's sort of like the tide. It brings down all the boats. But what you see is that things begin to pick back up when the momentum of Bitcoin to the downside begins to slow down. People begin to roll money out of Bitcoin into the alts, and that gives us the classic alt season, and I think we're potentially setting up for that. I'm going to outline it in the charts today. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you guys for hitting the like. Thank you for showing some love in the comments section, and hit the subscribe to get the type of analysis I'm getting ready to break down for you guys in these charts. I make predictions, I make bold predictions, I make call alerts, and on that point, in my last video that I actually shot Sunday, but I posted on Monday, I predicted that Tesla was going to have a rough week. And sure enough, there was just enough opportunity to get into Tesla puts on Monday, and we've seen an incredible capitulation in the charts based on some news that came out. Tesla stock slumps as delivery numbers miss the mark by a wide margin. Now, guys, this is what I saw coming. This is where I was telling you that we might get up to that 177, but above it would be hard to maintain. We weren't able to maintain it. Now, Tesla's got a lot of pain ahead of it. And in that last video, I gave you guys some areas where I saw as support as 157 and 149. And honestly, based on how bearish I'm feeling this morning on Tesla, I would be surprised if even those levels held. But if they did hold, when we got down to those levels, if they did hold, it would tell me that I'm right, that later this year, Tesla will have a resurgence based on the overall capability of the company. But here's what you guys need to really quickly know about the fundamental environment of auto sales in the United States. There is a glut of supply across the board with all sorts of companies and vehicles, great vehicles that are on fire sale. Now, I went through and I was watching some videos about some people that were breaking down how many days supply there was for this vehicle and that vehicle and this vehicle. Great vehicles, 100K vehicles, very expensive luxury vehicles, and they're saying that there is over a 1-year supply sitting on showrooms throughout the United States, so that before all of those vehicles could be sold, based on the current sale rate, it would take a year to move through that inventory. And what does that mean? It means that the manufacturers should stop making vehicles because the vehicles that are on the showroom floors aren't moving. And if that's the case for vehicles across the board, we know that it's going to affect Tesla. This is going to be a really bad year for auto sales. This is going to be a bad year. And so I think there's going to be the opportunity to short. This is exactly what I predicted on Monday's show. I laid it out on Sunday. I released it on Monday. That's what I saw coming down the pipeline, and I was warning everybody to get prepared. I'm in shorts, right, on Tesla. I think that I love the company. I like the opportunity ahead. But right now, the biggest opportunity is profiting to the downside. And we have earnings that are less than 2 weeks away. And it's going to be a rough earnings, right? And I think that's going to push the stock down. And so for me at the moment, every little pop-up is an opportunity to short until I feel that we've hit the bottom of the bucket, until we've down in the gutter. And I don't think we're there yet on the price, which means that the opportunity is to the downside. If you're a long-term investor, I would be patient. There's going to come a really nice opportunity to get in at a decent price. And you know what? It's not often that you can get a full 100% profit from stocks. That's a crypto game, man. We're going to get into that in a minute. I've got some 2x, 3x, 4x project that I'm going to lay out for you in crypto today, but they're higher risk, way higher risk. But in Tesla, I do believe for a great company like them, I see an opportunity that when we get down to that $150 price, I think we can get back up to $300, because this company is still the #1 automaker in the EV space in the United States that's consistently bringing the technology forward. And here's another point. It's actually applicable to both stocks or crypto. Believe it or not, with all the trouble that the politicians give corporations and even Elon Musk in the United States, do you know that the US is still more corporate friendly and pro-business than any other country in the world? Or at least I'm going to say our Chinese counterparts. We still have less regulation, less control, and more freedom in this country to innovate than most places in the world. And that's one of the reasons why Elon is going to remain in that #1 spot, because even while something is lagging, his car sales are lagging, the environment's not favorable to car sales, he'll buckle down and create more innovation, which will take the overall technology forward. It's consistently coming out of the United States and out of great American billionaires like Elon. And so I'm going to tell you, don't discount him. He is in the #1 spot, and I think he's going to stay there. All right, this video wasn't even about Tesla, but I had to cover that. I'm going to get into some things here. I wanted to talk real quick about MEXC. This is the exchange where I'm buying early crypto projects. And I wanted to just outline a couple things for you guys on this, because I've been getting some questions. This exchange does not require KYC. Now, which means you don't have to put your license or your passport in to use the exchange and get access to early crypto projects before they come to Coinbase, because by the time they've come to Coinbase, they've already run up hundreds of percentage points, and there's only just a little bit of opportunity left once they get to Coinbase. And so you want to try to get to them early. But I wanted to also outline, I wanted you guys to be aware that when we're buying these on this exchange, they themselves, they are not trying to knowingly sell crypto to the United States. So what they do is, if you don't have that NORD VPN router, they'll basically say, no, we can't service you. But you use the NORD VPN router to point your internet browser to another country, and then it allows them the ability to sell you crypto. So this is not illegal for us to do, but they are wanting to avoid regulation, or they're trying to avoid dealing with the SEC, United States regulation, because the SEC has not been allowing these foreign exchanges to sell crypto to the US citizen. Problem is, it's causing a lot of US citizens to not be able to take advantage of the opportunities in crypto that are existing. A lot of other people with international passports have been able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars with these early projects, where most Americans are only able to get some SHIB and Doge and ADA and the legacy coins on Coinbase, and they've not really been able to take advantage of the full opportunity. That's why I brought MEXC to you guys with the NORD VPN router. I wanted to be clear, it's not illegal, but let me outline one of the risks a little bit more. The fact is that the SEC could turn around and slap MEXC and say, you know what, we want you to do KYC, which is know your customer, with everybody trading on your account, because we suspect that there are some US citizens who are buying and selling and trading on the MEXC platform. Now, at any given moment, they could be required to do that, or they may comply with that. Now, the same thing happened with KuCoin. KuCoin didn't require KYC during the last bull cycle, but the SEC came along and has filed some lawsuits against them and forced them to do KYC. And that, of course, has led into other litigation. The same exact thing could happen with MEXC. Now, in the case of KuCoin, if you were a U.S. citizen and you couldn't by a certain date do the KYC, then you were told that you couldn't trade anymore, but you could always take your crypto off the exchange. I am doing trading on MEXC right now because it's the only place that I have access as a United States citizen with the NORD VPN router to do so. But at any given moment, I'm aware of the fact that they could come under the SEC's lawsuit or some attack from the SEC, and they could require me to do KYC, and then I would, not being able to because I don't have an international passport, I would then have to transfer my money, transfer my cryptos off of the exchange. So that's where I'm doing that early crypto trading. That's where I'm getting early ICOs, initial coin offerings that are not available on Coinbase, but I wanted you to be aware that it's the wild, wild west. And just if you get in there, we could be in a situation where we'd have to turn around and come right back out and look for somewhere else to trade these early crypto projects. I have a link for both of those in the top pinned comment. And if you've got any questions, you got to ask me in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you if you're a little confused about everything I just said. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin indicators that I want to share with you guys today, and I want to keep it super simple. Here's the problem that we've got. We have this stochastic RSI. We had a fatal crossover, right, of the blue line underneath the red line, and whenever this has happened on the monthly time frame chart, it's typically signaled that the next month, the month we're in, or the next month would be a really deep down red candle month. And so we need to be preparing and expecting for a pullback right now on Bitcoin. But it's not as easy as all that. So it's just not as easy that the minute we get that indicator that for sure we're going straight down. I want to give you guys some price points because you have to use indicators with price action and typically volume as well as fundamentals to get the big picture view. And here's the price point that I think we need to be watching. I think it's the 61K level that I gave you guys the last time Bitcoin pulled back. I told you guys we're going to come back and hit 61K. We did. It's the same level we need to watch again. We're on our way back to test that 61K. Now, if we stay in that 61K window, all we have on the Bitcoin chart is a giant bullish flag pattern, which is often a continuation pattern that points the price action much higher. So it's bullish if we came down to 61K and moved back up. That would retain the bullish flag pattern that we've got. But if we close on a time frame like the daily or weekly beneath 61K, that's bearish, okay? That means that we're gonna have a longer downturn on Bitcoin, and I think that if that 61K level broke, I know nobody wants to hear it, but I think we would actually come down to 50K. It doesn't mean for certain that we would hit 50K, it just means that the possibility of hitting 50K would become statistically way more realistic. Now, I know that a ton of you guys do the betting. I don't do the betting. I'm not on any of the betting apps. I don't go to Vegas. I don't buy lottery tickets. I never have. It's just not been something in my life. But you guys, if you're bettors, you understand statistical odds. If we break beneath 61K, the statistical odds that we come back to 50, they go up exponentially, which means they go up bigly. All right, so this is what we've got. Let me take you into the charts real quick and show you some things here with the stochastic RSI. Down beneath this is stochastic RSI, the blue line, whenever it has run up, this right here, this flattening out is the 100% level, which means it's the max momentum of the stochastic RSI. We hit it back here when Bitcoin peaked back in 2021, and we've recently had such a strong run up. We've been hitting that 100% level on the stochastic RSI again in the last month. Now, every single time on the monthly time frame that we've had a cross of the blue line beneath the orange red line there, it's given us a massive red candle to the downside. And we've had this crossover here we got when we were still in the somewhat of the early coming up stage before things broke out. When we crossed under, we've got a pretty big red candle. It wasn't as big as these, obviously, but we've got a pretty nice downturn at that point over the next 2 months, it was the following month that began to push us back up. So when we get run-ups like this and we get the blue line breaking beneath the stochastic RSI up at the 100% level, that's when you've got to be prepared to the fact that we might get a move down, a big giant red candle down, and that is kind of what I'm predicting. The other thing I want to point out to you guys, it's a little bit more simpler tech, and I like indicators that are simple, and I like to keep it simple on the indicators. The top of the Watson indicator is green, the bottom is red, and every once in a while when it crosses under or over, you get these buy or sell signals. Well, you can see that in the past, we got a sell signal, right? And we actually had another push up of momentum, but then within the next 2 months, the next 2 candles were down. We're really in the exact same boat. We got a sell signal on this month. We had another green month, just like we did back here. Now it's followed up by a red month. Now, this is where I'm telling you we got to watch these key levels of this candle that we're in. The bottom of that candle is 61K. The top of that candle is 71K. We haven't had enough time in April to determine direction. It wouldn't even shock me, and we've got to be aware of this, that if we were to come up and get back above 71K, we could try to make a push up to this 80K, which you've been hearing me talk about for a long time. But if for some reason we don't get back above 71K and we come and we actually do break beneath 61K, so we get this move, right? If we get beneath 61K, well then we are going down to 50, like I'm telling you. And what does that do? It simply brings us back to the top of the Watson envelope, right? And I've seen through watching different stocks that we can come back to the top of the Watson envelope and we can build from there and go higher, right? But you can see even when we got back here, we got pretty far into it, right? So these are the areas to watch: 61, 71, and the bottom line is we're going to get a pretty red candle here if we don't very quickly recapture the 71K level, which I don't see right now because that stochastic did print us essentially a sell signal when that blue line crossed beneath the orange-red line. So there's the bad news. It's definitely reminds me of the bear standing in the snow, grunting, staring down at Bitcoin. That's what that stochastic RSI indicator looks like to me. Bearish, scary, a hungry bear ready to consume the bull. So we got to be aware of that. But as I said in my intro, the fact is that this can open up for the alts to run. They'll come down with Bitcoin, but they'll begin to move in reverse before Bitcoin moves in reverse. So there is the opportunity. Now, what I'm always looking for on ugly days like this is outliers. Outliers. What is an outlier? It's when one crypto is going up when everything else is coming down. Now, I went and saw a couple that I like. A couple of them have been cryptos I've talked about on this page. I'm not going to even get into all of them today, but that Wi-Fi, W-I-F-I, Wi-Fi maps, that DPIN project that I brought to your guys' attention a while back, that was up today in this ugly bearish environment. And so that's one that I own over on the MEXC platform. But the one that I'm going to talk to you guys about today very quickly, because I'm already getting into this video with some time because I made most of it about Tesla, even though it wasn't part of my video, is Base. I'm going to be talking about the Base ecosystem, but more specifically the meme coin Brett on Base. Now I'm going to do a follow-up designated video on Brett because I want to explain the 3 dynamics more specifically that make this a potential winner. Now, if you watched my live that I did with Stock Up with Larry Jones last week, I broke down these 3 indicators that are going to govern every bit of every crypto purchase that I make this year, which is going to be regulation, community, and technology. Now, you know, those are the 3 factors. Regulation right now is a big one because we haven't seen the traditional legacy altcoins run up very much because they're still under attack by the SEC. Now, I personally believe that Coinbase is positioned to be a winner, not just here in the United States, but in the entire world, right? They're this one exchange that is properly aligned with institutional money, the BlackRocks, the State Streets, the Fidelities, the ARK Invest. These guys, even without the SEC, these guys can succeed. They're properly aligned. Their message to the SEC is, let's sort out the regulation. The only reason why the SEC has not done more to sort out regulation is because powerful people are trying to position themselves to win. Now, in my view, the powerful people have chosen Coinbase, the CEO of Coinbase. They've cut deals with him. And what this kind of looks like is he's been made, we know that they have been made the custodial for all of these big spot ETFs for their Bitcoin holdings, right? And that just shows me that they are aligned. And I kind of was giving this analogy to my son. We were talking about this, about maybe like a large concert venue, and you're going to book one of the most popular acts in the world, and their agent says to you, you know what, we're going to take all the ticket sales. And you're the venue, and you're like, what? Yeah, there's like, well, you know what, we're going to come to your venue, your little venue. We're going to take a risk and give you this #1 star. We're going to come and we're going to show up to your venue, and we're going to take all the ticket sales. But you guys can make money on the popcorn and the pop, right, and all the t-shirt sales, right? This is that's called the ecosystem of their products, right? And a lot of large arenas actually make the majority of their money on the beer sales and the hot dogs, right? And I know that because I've been friends with the general manager of the Cubs Stadium in Chicago for a long time, and he's shared with me that that's where the big money is largely made, is through the concessions. And so how does this relate to crypto? It relates to crypto this way. Coinbase has aligned themselves with the most powerful investment firms and money managers in the world. And where they're going to really thrive and make the majority of their money is in their ecosystem. It's in the coins and the projects that take off within their ecosystem. And now we know that meme coins are hot, and there's a ton of projects that are coming out on the Base ecosystem. The Coinbase blockchain is now called the Base. There's projects that are rolling out on Base, and one of them is being referred to as the mascot of the Base ecosystem, the Coinbase ecosystem, and that's Brett, B-R-E-T-T. Now, I'm just going to give you guys right off the bat that there are some clones of Brett. The one that has the right market cap and the right project, that's the one that's on Base. You say, okay, where's Base? Where can I get it? You can trade the Base ecosystem. Some of it's tradable on Coinbase, but you are doing the swapping in the Coinbase wallet. Now, I know that a ton of you guys have not taken the time to get to know the Coinbase wallet yet, and I am working on videos, tutorial videos that are going to walk people through all of those steps so they can get access to it. But right now, BRETT on Coinbase, on the Base network, this is a meme coin that I think has a ton of opportunity. In my mind, this is like the popcorn or the beer at the stadium, right? And so Coinbase is going to get some money off of being the manager and the custodial manager for these big investment firms. But the biggest growth opportunities are going to be in these projects that roll out on their ecosystem. And Brett on Base is definitely one of them. Now, and here's the other big thing I want you guys to understand. So let's run Brett through the same series of rules that I'm saying that all of these need to be run through. Regulation, community, and technology. Now the community part of it, so the regulation part of it is what I've already explained, that Coinbase is in the position of power. Yes, they're fighting with the SEC, but they've got the right backers. And in my mind, it's those big boys that dictate to the SEC how things will actually roll out. And so I'm going to say that Coinbase and their ecosystem is in a favorable position, whereas a lot of other exchanges are not. And these guys are in the right position at the right time. So regulation pass. Community. Now community is huge because these guys are absolutely aligned with the PEPE coin, which has actually been the #1 meme coin that's kicked off this crypto cycle. If you didn't know, it went up 300,000%, which means that if you owned $1,000 at the beginning, you would be worth millions of dollars right now. An absolutely parabolic move. Now you might not have caught that, right? I caught a little bit of PEPE, and I own some PEPE, and I'm still trying to catch some more of the upside. But what you can have opportunity to catch is PEPE's friends. And yes, Brett is a friend of PEPE. It's based on the community of the PEPE figure in the artwork in which PEPE hails from, his best friend is a character called Brett, right? And so it's also, Brett was a blue character and the Coinbase color scheme was blue. Coinbase decided to go ahead and work with them and to promote them within their ecosystem. And so Brett's gonna be huge. Now, technology, I've already outlined my view on meme coins when it comes to technology. The fact is, these community-driven projects, right, which escape the regulatory environment of a lot of the legacy coins, because of the way that they enter into the marketplace and the way that the circulating supply is handled, their technology is going to be in the use cases that they are applied to, right? And so it's a popularity contest on the front end. Once the community is clearly established, then it's marrying. So it's not the technology embedded in the meme coin. It's marrying the community with the future technology or application case as seen in my explanation of Doge and the X platform. So there will be, especially if that comes to pass, and you guys know that that prediction has been very strong. You know, weeks back when people were not highlighting Dogecoin as a big winner, I was telling you, Doge, 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 and it's been one of the strongest and dominant winners. It's even holding up very well right now. We're holding up great, right? So if you'd bought at 14 and 15 cents when I was highlighting, it's still up right now, showing you that it's a dominant player, right? And I was predicting that Dogecoin was potentially positioned to have that alignment with Elon and that use case application. They're going to marry the community with the tech, and there's your application. So I think based on that idea, which is just a premise, that's the same exact type of opportunity that coins like Brett and PEPE and FLOKI and other meme coins have. Once it's proven to work with Dogecoin, we're going to see a lot of communities adapt these meme coins because they come with a lot of customers. They come with the customers, right? And so that's the general idea. I wanted to give it out to you guys today, but let me quickly give you some support and resistance for Brett, because we don't want to just buy anywhere. We want to have a general idea of what we're doing. All right, to kick things off, I'm going to be looking at the monthly candle on Brett. I just wanted to point out to you that from the moment this became available for sale at roughly a penny, this thing has just been firing straight up. This is the very first pullback that we've gotten for Brett, and it bounced right off support at 0.06 cents. Now let me shift to the daily time frame so you can get a picture of how that looks, right? This chart is bullish. I mean, it's been pretty much going back with these flags just repeatedly breaking to the upside, and that's all we're in right now. And so yes, I'm expecting another move up. Now a natural area of resistance sets at around 9 cents, and so if there is the opportunity for us to pick some up between where it's at and anywhere below 6 cents, so if this has any more of a red candle, I think that we're going to stay somewhat between 6 and 5 cents. I think is going to operate as support, and I'm expecting us to get up to 9 cents. But here's the most important thing that you guys can understand. When we get above 7 cents, this is all price exploration on a new crypto project. And a crypto project with low market cap that a lot of people have yet to begin to trade. It is available on Coinbase, even though you got to do it through their wallet, which isn't as easy as using the standard Coinbase, but you can do it, and it's available to the masses, and it's yet to really run. And as more people gain access to Brett, and it is going to be one of these ones that we've not seen the massive run-up potential that it has. So when I gave the target that we could hit 42 cents and that it could basically 6x from here, that's a very elementary target. So that's just a party getting started kind of a target. And so I want you guys to keep your eye on it. I'm definitely buying strategically, because you know what? We don't have an absolute reversal. It went up today on down pressure in crypto. I'm going to keep my eye on it and go into accumulation. I'd like to have a nice position in Brett. And I'm going to introduce another video that I'm working on where I'm going to share with you guys. I have had a fair amount of meme coins, right? And we saw this nice push up over the weekend, and a number of them I've been stopped out on, right? Because meme coins are not long-term investments for me. They're swing trades. Now, as we're going into this environment, I want to get the best meme coin at the right price on each of the blockchains. I don't want to have a bunch of Ethereum meme coins, a bunch of Solana meme coins. I want to have the best Solana meme coin, the best Ethereum meme coin, the best Bitcoin meme coin on each blockchain, the best AVEX meme coin, and I'm going to be rolling out those videos. So again, if you want to get that content, you've got to hit the subscribe and the all notifications bell, because when I release that video, they're often very timely. And if you do that, then you'll get the notice to your phone that I've posted a video. Hope this video was helpful and gave you some confidence in these crypto markets on the idea that we are potentially moving towards an altcoin season, as well as some perspective of what might be happening with Bitcoin and the opportunity ahead with Tesla, because I think that it's under pressure and there's profit to be made right now on the puts with Tesla. And like I said, if my stop loss gets kicked out, I'm gonna be waiting to get back into puts on resistance to keep going down, because I think that there is still bad news coming out there. Thank you guys for joining me today. Again, thank you for hitting the like, hit that subscribe. Peace and blessings. Take care.